Hi, my name is Andrei, and welcome to another Fairlight video. So you might be asking why I'm making the similar looking videos all the time. The reason is simple. All Fairlights are different, and this system is not the exception. Today I'm really proud to present you the Fairlight Series 3, the unique masterpiece example that was used on the score for the Terminator 2 Judgment Day by Fiedel. So we're going to take a look on this system in the detailed configuration first, then we will make a break, I will fire it up, and we will check the internals of the system, how it's running, and I will play some examples for you. So this is not a demonstration of Fairlights as such, it's just a demonstration of this particular example, which is currently on sale. Alright, so let me give you first a little bit of history of how the score for the Terminator 2 was created. It's truly a masterpiece. You know that the release date of Terminator 2 was 1991, and basically you're running the the best hardware possible at that time. The unique configuration of Mr. Fiedel for composing for the Terminator 2 is that actually he used two Fairlight Series 3, and they were running together at the time in a sync, and they were split to increase the amount of polyphony that needed to produce this score. So some of these basically parts like drums were running on one system only, and other parts like strings and other long parts, they were running on another system. And he was managing these to increase the polyphony and basically run it live. So there is no a tracking as such. Everything was running live and then went to multi-track. This is a Rev 9 Series 3. What means Rev 9? Rev 9 is basically the latest revision, the top of the CMI functionality. After that, Fairlight completely switched to the digital audio recording, and CMI functionality disappeared in the later versions, where Fairlight switched to the MFX3, MFX3+. So let's take a look first inside this system. I will show you the configurations of the cards, and basically it's not that much different from other systems that are restored in a such that you see that currently. So first of all, it's a fully restored. You see it's a repainted chassis, it's a brand new paint, and this is the system configuration. So it comes with 8 channel cards that provide you 16 voices polyphony. Basically, this is a computer section, it's full and complete. This is the channel card section, it's full and complete. And this is a memory section, which is now, the current modern technology is replaced by the single memory board that runs 32 megabytes of sampling memory. And that's called digital bin. On the front piece here, you also see, something which is unusual to these systems. First of all, this is a fan speed control module that controls all the fans installed into the system, and there are thermal sensors in the thermal zone, so it's managed, it's monitored. We'll see when I will turn it on how that's actually working. And this piece is the module, the SCSI-2SD, which is the flash card, SD card to be exact, module that replaces the original hard drive. Not just it's in a higher capacity, but also it simulates multiple hard drives at the same time, so that is much easier now to manage the data on the system. Again, you can see my other videos, it's not that much different on the SCSI-2SD module that's installed here. On the back side, nothing unusual, so all the channel cards populated, so that gives you 16 voices in total. The original sampling module that gives you 2 audio analog inputs, and the router. So both systems that Brad Fiedel ran in the score, they extensively used the capabilities of a router module, and that is basically the 24 output router. So on the 3 connectors you have 8 channels. Interestingly, by the sessions, the way I see that running, well, only the first output of 8 channels were used, so not all 24 router capabilities were used, but of course router was used to also to deal with the limited polyphony of the system. So that's great to have it here, and nothing really unusual here. Okay, so now let's take a look on the other peripherals. We have the music keyboard, which is also repainted, as well as the system. We have the original monitor, which is a green phosphor monitor. We also have a brand new set of the new technologies, let's say that. That includes LCD monitor with the video converter. So basically, video converter can be directly connected to the Series 3 or could be connected to the monitor, and in that case you can run both at the same time. And also, you'll be surprised, you'll see here USB keyboard, and that USB keyboard is connected to the module called USB to CMI that allows to replace the original keyboard with the common USB class keyboard and the mouse. Finally, there is also the original keyboard, which is a fully restored keyboard. Everything is working here, including the touchpad and the pen. And all of that can function at the same time. So technically, you can have 2 terminals to operate to the CMI. Of course, they will be duplicating each other, but you can run both monitors, you can run both keyboards at the same time. I personally nowadays prefer having the newer keyboard, but having the original one and having the original monitor is actually that sort of a user experience that you need to have when you run that vintage system. So, of course, in addition to that, so that is a system configuration that you saw. System comes with a set of the flight cases. So there's a flight case for the keyboard and flight case for the main CMI unit, and some early manuals, as well as the latest manuals available well, for the download for everybody. But it's sort of also interesting to have the early versions of manuals that, well, don't have much sense these days because system has quite evolved, and actually watching these manuals is a great piece of history. All right, I think this is it. To make a quick disclaimer, system does not include any of Mr. Fiedel sounds. This is not possible. If you want to have these sounds, you should contact Brad Fiedel. I do have these sounds. I did recover all of them, and I have no any rights to distribute these sounds and sell it to you. Okay, with that disclaimer, let's make a break and fire up the system. Thanks. I hooked everything up, and before we continue, a quick disclaimer here, another one. I'm using a headphone output. Never ever use it for anything in a studio environment. It's noisy, it has a hum on it, but because we are running that in a very tiny environment right now just for the test, there is no mixer desk, there is nothing. That's why I'm using it directly connected. Also, if you are planning to connect this system to the studio, you might better to use the router outputs as well as individual channel outputs. Depends what you're trying to achieve. With that, let's get started. I'm going to turn on the system and you are going to record this screen. Okay, let's go. Let me guide you here a bit. What you see first, so there are 8 channels here, 32 megabytes, and basically system starts booting off the SCSI2 SD drive, and you might see that, well, what you see on the monitor is basically replicated, so they're running together, and you can run them together at the same time. Usually, I wouldn't be running that monitor if you don't need it. And there is a cable that I'm including with the purchase that would allow you to run only this section. Now let's take a look here, please. On the this front panel, so we have the SCSI2 SD module. It shows with the dot that it's working. Basically, it's reading the data because it's booting currently. This LED replicates that. And this is the fan control module, the 6 thermal zones and 6 fan zones. There are way more fans inside the system. It's just 6 potentiometers that control these by zones. And you can also monitor the temperature per zone. So that is quite useful when you run in system for a long time and you want to control it. Also, if something happens with one of the fans inside it, system checks that, this fan controller checks that, and it will send you a signal, a loud signal that fan is no longer spinning. So now let's go back here. This monitor is flickering just on the camera. It's not flickering in real life, believe me. I'm going to show you some of the capabilities of the system, quick capabilities. As I said, the library that's included here is basically the factory library and several other libraries, like a Presonus library, which was one of the primary library that Mr. Fiedel used for the orchestration and other sound design in the Terminator 2. I'm going to load one sound for you just to check, to show you that the system is actually working and running. I used USB keyboard. I could use the original keyboard at the same time. Also, when you control it, the sound, this screen replicates everything which is on this screen. So they also running in sync, and basically you can have this module somewhere else, and you'll see what is actually is on the music keyboard. All right, so now it's booted. Let's check. So it's a one sound, it's a stereo sound, as you may see here. I will create it with 8-note polyphony. So we have 16 channels total because it's a stereo, 8-note in total. And now let's turn on the volume. Yeah, well, what you might expect, it's a brass library. But now let's see, let me give you a demo what actually Mr. Fiedel did it. We go to the sample editing section, and we're going to change some parameters here. So, because it's a multi-sample brass library that you see here, there are several samples here. Okay, what I'm going to do, we put some other lower octaves here. Does it sound familiar to you? Yes. So yeah, it's just one of examples. Everything is working here. The system is in a perfect condition, and the happy owner will be running it for years and really enjoying it. Okay, so with that, thanks a lot for watching it. Thanks a lot for getting to the end. You know where to find it, right? On a reverb.com, you'll see the system on sale. All right, goodbye.